guys, Zoe here from LazyGamer.net, and I got sent to sunny Santa Monica to check out Battleborn from 2K and Gearbox. Now, what is this hero first-person shooter all about? I got some hands-on time with the game, I got to chat to some of the guys who were making it. Here's everything you need to know.
Good day, peons!
Weapons online.
We are a first-person shooter, and we have 25 characters at launch. So that is no small undertaking, and I'm very excited for people to get to play it and get to see the variety in each of the characters. They all have their own unique weapons. They all control a little bit differently, and they have their own unique play styles. So.
Gearbox often gets kind of instantly associated with Borderlands.
Sure.
So what makes it different? What is the difference between Battleborn and Borderlands?
Yeah, and I think what the question really are asking is why is this not Borderlands, right? It's very polite of you. But don't worry, there is more Borderlands coming as well. That is being worked on. We're even recruiting for those guys right now. But Battleborn for us is the whole idea of trying to create new things again. If you saw some of our early stuff when we were doing Borderlands, we were pleading with gamers, please just support new IP, right? And we were saying this over and over about, like, we're in a world of sequels. So we don't want to be one of those guys just creating a world of sequels ourselves also, so we're trying to create new things, right? So that's where we're at with Battleborn, is to try to take new ideas and bring them to gamers and apply the lessons that we've learned from creations of new IPs, with Brothers in Arms and Borderlands that we've done before. So our hope is that shooter players will love this.
Awesome. So is that your primary audience? Are the shooter players, or who do you think will love Battleborn?
So that was a really tough question for the previous times we've done this too, right? Certainly you probably need to be comfortable from a first-person perspective, but there are several ways to play the game, much like Brothers in Arms, whereas the tactical RTS guys were also interested. And Borderlands, we had guys who liked action RPGs and so Battleborn, we're actually drawing from all these lessons that we've applied previously, or going to apply from our previous experience. So our hope is that it's brand new gamers, right? Like everybody who played Borderlands, that'd be nice, right? Or at least a few of them even. And hopefully we draw in some new people, because this is a whole new generation of console games coming out, and there's a lot of people who are brand new to games and never even played Borderlands or Brothers in Arms.
Cool. And then, you've got a whole bunch of characters. That's kind of the unique selling point, is that there's just tons of different characters to choose from. Mm-hmm. Which ones are your favorite?
Oh, for me, it's really a split between two. There's this Arendi space witch. I think it's a girl. Sounds like a girl.
Sounds like a girl.
And she has 4 hands, and she does this spell casting stuff and has this really just visual spectacle of just craziness that shows up on the screen. And I really don't understand what or why it's happening. It's just crazy. But it's space magic, so I like that. And then the other character I really like is also here, which is Caldarius, the Robotech Gundam kind of, jetpack flying dude who can do big old AoE attacks where he jumps up way high in the air and then splashes down to create an explosion.
Now, with this many characters, how do you keep each one feeling unique? I mean, how can you have this many characters without any of them feeling like, oh, this is just the other guy but with a bow, this is just the other guy with
we've actually discovered that when the designers are told, hey, we're going to go crazy and let you make 25, and that was decided fairly early on, it made it easier to be more unique, because when you're limited to a scope of like 4, you need to think about like, man, all right, well, you want to just hit the basic principles of how people like to play the game. Some guys like to snipe, some guys like to play melee, and that's all you have, right? But when you say, hey, I have 25, like, man, I can think of a whole bunch of different ways that a melee person would want to do it, or a sniper would want to do it, and it means that you can actually go to more extremes for these things. You can be more distinct, whereas the realities of design, and when you have a limited number of characters, you have to be a little more safe with your decisions to make it so that it's more approachable to everyone. We're gonna have character classes that are just like, people are like, what the hell is that? But some people will like it, and that's what Battleborn allows for. So it's freeing, and it's actually in some ways easier to do it.
It has a very, and it's partially from the leveling system and all of that, a sort of a MOBA feel. Was that intentional? Was that part of the inspiration?
The MOBA guys have done some really smart iterations on design principles that have been around for a while, honestly. Like the guys who made Return to Castle Wolfenstein multiplayer long ago, they did some really smart things that influenced that as well. The guys who did Team Fortress and Team Fortress 2, really smart things that happened there as well. The quick progression, that was really brought in by the MOBA guys, and that's awesome for the feeling of quick successes during the match and to change your character through that. That's really smart, so we liked that thing. But with Battleborn, we also took the profile level thing, which in Borderlands was the badass rank, and we made that much more prominent. And the decision there was so that when I'm playing through the story and I want to switch characters and I'm halfway through the story, I don't feel like I'm taking a step back anymore. So that to us was a little bit of our own decisions about how Borderlands happens, but some really smart things we saw other people doing that we knew gamers enjoyed, right? Like same thing with Brothers in Arms and Borderlands as well. It's like you see smart things happening that we know gamers like. Well, like people love loot. Let's put that in a shooter with Borderlands, right? So yeah, we take influence from all kinds of places.
Very cool. And then as far as the story goes, so suns are disappearing, going out, death, whatever it's
sure, some nerdy stuff.
Technically, something it's supposed to be called.
Yes.
And then we find out there's actually big bads killing suns. Can we get a little bit more of a hint about the story?
Well, I mean, so yes, the short version of the story is all the stars are going away. Everybody who knows how to travel through space, they all go to the last star that they see available, and they start squabbling, and then they find out somebody else has been extinguishing the stars, and they decide to unite as much as they can and fight against this guy. Well, it's actually Rendane, who is also with one of the people traveled and switch sides, because he's a putz. So what the story takes place is, how do you fight Rendane, and how do you save the rest of the stars, right? It wouldn't feel like a game if everybody failed. So I imagine there will be some successes there.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now, when will people be able to play the game?
I've been told that we are allowed to finally say winter.
Winter.
That's what we're allowed to say.
So for South Africa, summer.
Oh, you're South Africa. That's right. Yes.
Summer.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then platforms, where will people be able to play it?
We're going to put this out on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows PCs.
Very cool. Excellent. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Alright, so I hope you liked that video, and if you did, be sure to click the giant subscribe button and like our video, and we'll do some more of them for you.